Morning, good evening, good afternoon, and goodbye. My name is Mr. Huttenstein. I'll be your tour guide today for some reading. Today we're going to introduce you to a neat site called Epic, and it is Epic, basically an online library of books. So I'm going to show you how to navigate it. So you're going to type in Epic. You don't even have to go to it. It is getepic.com. You'll notice over here, Epic official site. I'm just going to click on that. I'm just pretending that you're clicking on this for the first time, which many of you are. And what you're going to want to do is look for, I'm going to bring this full screen now, look for students. So when you click on students, you're going to need to enter a class code. That class code is written on your lesson. You can copy and paste it in. If you're wondering what it is WVQ 4105. When you hit go, it should take you to our class Epic page. All of you should have some kind of avatar. Yes, you can change your avatar. Keep it legit, keep it school friendly. And I put myself in there so you can see what this is going to look like. So you would click on your name. And let's give you a little tour. You can explore the library. This is your library. You have a mailbox which you don't have to worry about, and that's your little icon. They do have comics. You can have this whole website read to you. They have videos and audiobooks. We're going to be basically focusing on chapter books. So if I hit explore and I'm going to do a search for chapter books, you can scroll down. You can see they have popular series, top picks, award winners, and I have found that the list that you get to see changes from day to day. It just seems new books seem to pop in. So if you do a search, and as soon as you hit search, all of this stuff comes up, and I like to pick adventure. And when you hit adventure, boom, you get some books that you get to look through. Now, how do you start to build a library? I want to see a little more here. You do want to pick chapter books that are appropriate for you. Some of these are harder, some of these are easier. I happen to like Gordon Korman, so when I click on a book, it comes up and you can actually start reading. I can make this magnified. I can back off of that just by sliding the toggle bar there. Now to flip the page, I go down to the lower right, I get the arrow, and I turn the page. Well, what happens if I don't like this? Well, I can just X out. I have some options up here. You don't even have to worry about recommending anything. But if you want to add this to your library, you click the heart. Now my heart is already colored in because this is in my library. How do I know that? Well, I'm going to go over to my library. And these are all the books I've added to my library. That means I can click on them at any time. You'll notice Loot is there as an audiobook. And I click on this. You can see it's going to read it for me. I find that annoying. So I'm going to probably myself pick books where I want to be able to read. And I would like you to do that as well, because we're going to be working on reading strategy skills like predicting and inferencing and questioning. And you need to interact with the text. This is a neat feature, but I want you to interact with the text. So let's show you the text. So here we go. I'm clicking on the book Nerds. I want to show you a neat feature here that you can use. Let's say I'm reading and I get stuck on a word. And I hover over that word, I click it. It comes up with an audible pronunciation of the word, and then it gives me some definitions. That is a really cool feature. As you read, if you get stuck on a word, you can just ask for help. So what I want you to do is explore Epic and build your library. How many books do you need? Well, again, it's up to you. If you wanted to type in the words chapter books, that's good. You're going to get chapter books, and you can see right away some of these are easier, some of them are harder. You're just going to have to click and start previewing the books. Do not judge a book by its cover. I'd really like you to take the time. I'm giving you 30 minutes to build your library. Look at a book. If the cover catches your attention, open it up. Like, this looks like a stupid book to me. I'm going to click on it because I think llamas are pretty cool. And how do I judge this book? Well, I'm going to just start reading it. So, table of contents. It was the first Thursday in May. I was sitting at the table chewing on a piece of banana that my mother had sliced into my cornflakes for breakfast. I was half awake and half asleep, so I only heard half of her when she spoke. There may be a big surprise when you get home from school. I wonder if that surprise is a llama, and what kind of person gets their children a llama. So I'm just going to, obviously you would spend some time reading this to get an idea if you like the flavor of the book, if you like the level of the book. I probably would not pick this book, A Llama in the Family, just because. This book would look like it would interest me, Jack and the Wildlife, so I would click on that. I'd spend some time reading through the books. You want to build a library, and you want to take your time building your library because, well, you're going to be reading those books for the next, well, at least for the next month. So take your time to build your library. And as you can see in my library, I had 4 books. I would probably suggest, 6 books that you can sort of whittle down over time. And this is a really great site that you can use and play around with, and that we will be using throughout this month of April to talk about some reading stuff. Hopefully it's that simple. Again, I would suggest you using Google Chrome if you're working on a MacBook. Safari should work just fine. You can try other web browsers, but if you run into trouble, I would suggest switch over to a different web browser. That is all I have. Happy reading, happy hunting, be safe, and take your time. Mr. Hottenstein signing off.